Hi everyone, Janie here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a pop-up Shadowbox card like this. And when it lays flat, it's A2 size, so it's 5.5 by 4 1/4. But then once the recipient opens it, it pops right up like this. It makes a really cool Shadowbox card that has so many possibilities. So let's get started. For this, you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock or sturdy scrapbook paper that measure 4 1/4 inches by 5.5 inches. And I like to use cardstock or scrapbook paper that has a pattern on it so that you don't have to worry about measuring for layers. It just makes it easier. And the next step is scoring. So with the 5.5 inch edge across the top, you'll need to score each of them at 1/2 inch and 1 inch from each end, and then fold the 1 inch score line in a valley fold and the 1/2 inch in a mountain fold, and you'll repeat this on both ends and on both pieces. So here all I'm doing is just repeating the same process with the piece that I'm going to be using for the front of the card. Okay, I'm not going to be using my Cuddle Bug, but I wanted to show you, for those of you who don't have a bigger die cutting machine like I have and you have the regular size, that you can put your cardstock or scrapbook paper in this direction or that direction. Either way, it's going to fit in this machine. And another thing that I wanted to show you, because what I'm going to be doing right now is cutting an opening here in the center. And I wanted to show you that normally I would use something like that and center it and cut the opening with that. But today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. So I'm going to be cutting the opening up here, leaving more room at the bottom because I'm going to be putting something here at the bottom. So I wanted you to see that you can do it either way. You can, put the opening anywhere that it's going to work for what you are doing. Okay, so there you go. Now I'm going to get out my Sizzix Big Shot Switch Plus. So now I'm using my Sizzix Big Shot Switch Plus because I think it does a much better job than my Cuddle Bug. And also I'm totally spoiled by not having to crank it. Okay, and then the front piece will hook on the back piece just like that, and when it folds flat it will be an A2 size, 5.5 by 4 1/4, and when it opens it is a shadow box like that. To decorate my card, I am using this redeemed word and cross cutting die set from InLoveArts, and I think it's absolutely perfect for Easter, or what I prefer to call Resurrection Sunday. But I also think it could be used for other occasions. So I'm going to cut a total of 3 of the crosses from textured cardstock, and 2 of them are going to be in black because they're just going to be in the background. And I'm cutting the word redeemed from gold foil cardstock. And I'm really quite pleased with how well they cut, as you can see here in the video. Next, I'm going to be doing a simple inking technique for the inside background, and I thought I would share that with you. So what I'm doing is using a scrap piece of paper and tearing it in half, shaping it to be a hill. And I'm going to be using both halves of that piece of paper, so I'm not throwing it away. And it doesn't matter whether you start with the top or the bottom, but I'm starting with inking the sky first. So I have that bottom piece where I want the hill to be, and using Distress ink in the color Stormy Sky, and I'm using a blending brush to create the sky while the bottom piece of paper protects the area that will later be inked for the hill. And as you just saw, I did remove the bottom piece of paper once I had gotten enough of the sky done that I wasn't worried about getting it down where the hill was going to be. And if you're worried about the paper moving, you can always use washi tape or something to hold it down on the sides while you're doing your inking. And now that I'm done with the sky, I'm going to take the piece of paper that I tore and cover the sky area, and start in the bottom half with Distress ink in Gathered Twigs. And I actually thought of using 2 different inks for that hill, but I ended up only using Gathered Twigs. So as you can see, this technique is almost like using a stencil and creates a perfect connection between the skyline and the hill. And this is the simplest version of this technique, but you can get more creative with it and create a sunrise or a sunset to go along with it. But I just kept it simple for this card. Next, I'm gluing the 2 black crosses onto my background, and I could have left them just the way they were, but I decided I wanted to glue in the little pieces that were die cut out of it to give them more of a solid look. But if you see it in person, those pieces actually give it a look of texture. Once the inside of the card is done, it's time to glue the front and back together. And to do that, you just glue that 1/2 inch section together that is on each side of the card, and it's that simple. Just make sure that all of the edges are even, and one of the best ways to do that is to lay the card flat and line up the edges. I like using my Beacon 3-in-1 glue so that I have some wiggle room, but you could always use 1/2 inch wide double-sided tape. To decorate the front of my card, I'm using a piece of textured cardstock and tearing it to create a hill for the cross. And I glued the word redeemed onto that hill, and then I glued that to the front of the card. And I'm gluing the 3rd cross so that it attaches behind the hill and to the top of the card to hold it in place. And here is my finished card that you saw at the beginning. And so I took the little pieces that were die cut out of the crosses, and I glued them back in. For the crosses in the back, I just glued the same pieces right back in. And for the main cross right here, I had actually die cut this, and you'll see it in another card here in a minute, but I die cut it from another color, and I glued those pieces back in. I thought that, gave it a really cool look. And this is the hill that the cross is on. And so I just used textured cardstock and tore it across the top because I really like that look. And then glued the redeemed on there, and this beautiful purple flower with a little purple pearl in the center of it. And I stopped there, but you can always add, things down the side. I have other videos where I've made this card and I've put ribbon down the side and a bow. You can put gems, you can, do whatever. But for this one, I decided I was going to stop right there. I am actually very happy with how this card turned out. And I liked the inking technique that I use. I hope you like that. That's just kind of a fun way to create a background. But this is my finished card. And now let me show you another card that I made. This one is just a regular A2 size card. And this is where I said that I got the pieces that I had glued right back in there. I got them from the cross that you see here in the back that I used as a shadow. So on this one, I just layered the 2 crosses in that manner, creating, a shadow look in the background. I really like that. And for here, I did the same thing for the hill that the cross is on. You can't see the texture on that cardstock near as much as you can on this one, but I just love the torn look on that. I think it makes it look more realistic. And again, I put the redeemed on here and some purple flowers with the little purple pearls in there. And then this olive branch that I used right there, let me show you what that came from. This is a stamp and die set from InLoveArts, and it's called Love and Peace Doves Dies and Stamp Set. And I used this in a video last year, and I just think it's so perfect for Easter or sympathy cards or any inspirational cards. I really like that set, and I had wanted to use the dove on here, but the dove was so big that it just didn't look right. But I really love that stamp and die set. And I really love this die set as well, the Redeemed with the Cross. I think both of these cards are so perfect for Resurrection Sunday, because to me, Easter is actually the celebration of spring, and that's where all the flowers and the bunny rabbits and all of that fun stuff come from. But I like to remember it as Resurrection Sunday. And so that's what these cards are all about. And I'm just really happy with how they turned out. And I'm going to put some pictures of them right here on the screen as the video is ending. Well, I hope that my tutorial on how to make a pop-up shadow box card was easy enough to follow. I think it is so simple to make, and it has so many possibilities. It's something that you can really get creative with, or you can just keep it basic. But either way, it'll turn out great. And in case you're interested, I'll have links below in the description box to the InLoveArts products that I used, as well as a 25% off discount code should you decide to shop there. And I'll also have a link to the Sizzix Big Shot Switch Plus and Magic Mats. Oh, and also there's videos linked here on the screen that might interest you. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.